Hey everybody, welcome back to another episode of Gunpowder and Freedom. Well, surprise, surprise, I actually get to do some dirt work over here while I still have some daylight. So that is really, really nice. This is actually the first time I've been over here for a couple days now. I cut in the driveway, started pushing topsoil for that, and actually looking at it right now in the daylight, you know, I'm not a finish excavator. I pour concrete, but I will say in the dark, I feel as though I did a pretty darn good job. It's snowing right now. We got a lot of snow yesterday. I think at one point in time we had like, I don't know, maybe an inch and a half or so that actually accumulated on the ground. So the top layer of dirt is pretty saturated with water. But even just looking at this right now, it looks like I didn't go too deep. There might still be another inch or two of topsoil on there before you start getting down into, you know, this sort of stuff, the little bits of shale and rock. So if we'll see how well this progresses, but I might shave this down a little bit more. But if you remember me saying I couldn't really see the boundary markers, I was wanting to come in a little higher here, because if you remember in the beginning of that video, our garages are going to be up here. So I'll work on that a little bit right now, shaving this in, just keep pushing forward with moving all this topsoil. If I could, I'd like to get that tree pushed over to the burn pile, get that condensed, and then we'll just kind of play the rest of this by ear. If I can get a couple passes here next to my string line, again, this is going to be the very front of the house, the front porch here. We're going to have a bump out for the garage here, but this is going to be the furthest the house comes up. So I would like to get probably 10 to 12 feet in front of this, stripped of all the topsoil. I am piling it right here right now, but this is going to be in my way at some point in time. However, I don't know of a much better place to put it. I suppose I could put it over there, but whatever, we'll worry about that later. Yeah, so we're gonna get the driveway cut in up there and start pushing this topsoil down, get that tree pushed over, and yeah, enjoy these up and coming time lapses. And while you're enjoying them, don't forget to hit the like and subscribe. One quick note, if you've noticed, I've kind of been taking it easy on the firearms videos. That's because we are about a week and a half away from opening day of deer season for rifle. Archery is in season right now. That finishes up Friday. It's Wednesday, I think. So I'm getting a lot of good pictures of some really nice buck that I really don't want to push out. So probably going to be taking it a little break from the firearms videos until deer season is A, over, or B, I get myself a nice trophy buck. Whichever one comes first. I hope it's the second, but that's not up to me. We'll see though. So I'm gonna get the skid loader unloaded and start working. So the driveway's cut in a lot nicer. I was able to make it a little bit flatter. Still sloping downhill, obviously, because we are working into a hill. So we're gonna have that. You know, we'll just have to build this side up a little bit more with gravel, and then when it comes time to actually put the driveway in with concrete, you know, 5 years from now, you know, we'll just have to kind of fix this side up, you know, make it slope and roll, you know, a little bit nicer in. So getting really excited for all this stuff, so kind of lose my words. I'm so excited to be doing this right now. So I just wanted to take 1 second here and just kind of talk you guys through this. So I am working up a hill. This first pass digging out topsoil is a little bit difficult because it's really nice topsoil, and then it gets to like really chewed up rocky shale. So there's a real fine line you want to be in. So when you're cutting down, especially when you're working on a hill, like I was trying to work it down, but then I kept losing track of where the front of my bucket was, and I didn't want to dive in and make it real wavy. So I decided to start working uphill, and I just, you know, a little bit at a time, I would shave it down until I got to that fine layer, that fine line that I'm supposed to be at. And it looks like we have a good, you know, 6 to 8 inches of really nice topsoil. And again, you can kind of tell that by, like, it looks like, to quote Jeff Emming, if you know him, or Ricky Carmichael, it looks like really nice chocolate cake. When you start getting into this grittier stuff that has more like light browns, tannish, that's not topsoil. So you don't want to dig that up and mix it in with this topsoil, because after we get the foundation dug and we're ready for, you know, landscaping and everything, we'll be able to take all this nice topsoil that we dug, fill it in, get all of our elevations and grades set, and then top it with all this, knowing that we have good topsoil that's going to grow nice grass. So anyways, that brings us to this. That's a little bit more difficult because, number one, you're working on a hill. Number two, you can't see the sides of your bucket, so you just kind of have to, you know, take your time and do it a little bit at a time. Now that we have this done, I can leave this just one tooth stick out on the side. And again, it's a little bit slower of a process for me because I don't do this every day, but you can leave one tooth stick out, and then you just watch this tooth on the stuff you already dug out. You want this riding right on top of this area here. If it starts digging in, obviously you're going in too much, you're not following the slope of the hill. If you're seeing like a little ledge there, then you have some room to tilt your bucket more and take more dirt out. So with that being said, back in the machine, let's keep stripping topsoil. Okay, so that's going to be the corner of the garage. There will be a 3-car garage that goes straight back. So that is, again, the front of the house. I have probably 15 feet down there cleared, 15 to 18 feet down there cleared. I got wider as I came up the hill because as construction vehicles are pulling in and out of the driveway, I know some people aren't gonna, we're not gonna be able to fit a bunch of vehicles up top during construction. So I wanted to make sure I had topsoil down here so I could spread a little bit of stone, help keep some of our work trucks up out of the mud. Now that I have this all done, I'm going to go ahead and spend, a few minutes pushing this side of the topsoil pile over there to give myself some working room, and I'll start stripping this backside here, start cutting in this outline. I do have to pull one more number because we have a bump out for the kitchen. It goes off this boundary marker here, straight back, I think maybe 10 to 12 feet, and then it goes back. So once I get over to there, I'll worry about that. But for now, I'm going to jump up here, focus on shifting this pile of topsoil over and continuing cutting in. Okay everybody, so for once I actually got to get some work done in the daylight, and that makes a ton difference. It's such a big help when you can actually see what you're doing. But I do have to call it quits for right now. I have to jump back to the shop and work on a countertop. You guys will see that video beginning of next week. That's in the process for a friend of ours, and trying to get him all situated. But I mean, I'm extremely happy with the progress. I was able to get done in a couple hours with the help of our trusty CAT 249 D3 skid loader. I got the driveway corrected. I got the topsoil from that pushed in, and pushed and piled. I moved a little bit of topsoil that I had to in that pile so that I could have some working room there. I got the whole front of the house. I got a bunch of topsoil pushed there. I know eventually, probably next year or maybe even this year, I'm gonna have to clear a lot more than what I cleared, but for right now this is a good way to get my outline of the house done so I can get everything all in here cleared and pushed, and then that way come springtime I can get the skid loader and excavator back over here and we can actually start digging in to get our foundation set for the footers and the walls. But again, that's next year. Right now the main concern is getting the topsoil cleared from the working area. So that's going to do it for me today over at the Freedom Compound. I always love getting over here and getting something done. I feel like it's turning into my motto that progress is progress no matter what it is, but progress is progress. So I want to thank you guys for tuning back in to another episode of Gunpowder and Freedom. If you liked what you saw, please click the like and subscribe. Don't forget to like us on Instagram, and keep checking back because I got to tell you, I love the support I'm getting. So thank you guys very much. I'll see you next time.